Even though the U.S.-led coalition continues to launch airstrikes, ISIS controls roughly the same territory today as it did last summer.
Americans may disagree about what to do about ISIS, but most agree that it is the job of government to provide for the common defense. That's written in here in the Constitution. Government should also run the courts, run the post office, it says in here. Though, actually, now we know that private solutions like UPS and FedEx do a much better job than the government post office, and private courts are more efficient. Still, when it comes to fighting wars, there's just something creepy about the idea of private solutions, private soldiers, mercenaries, people going to war out of their own self-interest. Except, if government isn't good at running things like the post office, maybe private alternatives are worth trying too. Matthew Van Dyke runs one such group called Sons of Liberty. What do you do?
Well, we are a security firm that provides free military advising and training to forces that are fighting ISIS. And we do it funded entirely from contributions from the public. And we put that money to good, efficient use, training forces to fight against ISIS.
But we already have government doing that. The United States has more than 3,000 advisors, trainers, support personnel in Iraq.
Well, you don't have government doing it very well. The Iraqi forces have shown that they're pretty good runners, not such good fighters. You also have the Iraqi army only fighting for certain areas and the Peshmerga only fighting for certain areas. And we're training forces that the government has not been helping, which are Iraqi Christians, who've been completely overlooked, who have remained defenseless, and who have suffered greatly over the years and will continue to suffer greatly, both at the hands of ISIS and after the conflict.
And you trained Iraqis for less than $50,000. The government has a $250 million program and trained fewer Iraqis?
Yes, there must be some overhead somewhere.
$4 million each, says Politico.
Exactly. We do it very efficiently, very well, and we have some of the best trainers in the world. We have former U.S. military veterans. We have former Green Berets have applied, former Navy SEALs. Over 1,000, or nearly 1,000 now, applications are sitting in our database.
You'll take all of them?
No, we take less than 1%. We take the best of the best. Our screening process is quite intensive, even more intensive than what the U.S. military does when they screen.
Your people shot some pictures of their operation against ISIS. Here they're training a group of Iraqi Christians. One exercise has them search a house where they suspect terrorists may have hidden.
You did not search that room, so as you're all going up, there could have been a terrorist in that room shooting in the back.
You think you're making a difference?
For sure. The Iraqi Christians would not have this training. The Obama administration has been training only Muslim groups. The Christians have been completely overlooked, but now they have a force of 330, entire battalion, ready to go in the fight against ISIS.
How do you know they'll fight?
Well, they're very motivated to fight. They're determined to be part of liberating their own neighborhoods, and they'll do whatever they can in this fight.
People have a tough time getting their brain around this. We assume fighting a war is a job for government. And you're not exactly a big for-profit enterprise. You're sort of a cross between a charity and a business. But do you understand why people are bothered by this?
I really don't. We're serving a population that the government does not serve.
And you do it effectively. The most effective way to motivate people is money, and that's the market magic I've been talking about. And for years, Halliburton has been the whipping boy for critics of private contractors. I'm told government overpays Halliburton. The company's inefficient. It subcontracts to cronies at outrageous prices and funnels millions to Dick Cheney and his friends. I don't believe those things, but even assuming they're true, Halliburton is still able to get meals to troops, deliver mail, transport fuel, more things for half the money than the government says it needs to do it. In fact, the Congressional Budget Office says if contractors, private contractors like Halliburton, were replaced in Iraq by government people, the Army's total cost would be about 90% higher. Why are you so much more efficient?
Our trainers believe in the cause, they believe in helping persecuted people, and they believe in fighting ISIS, and they're donating their time.
I assume the soldiers do too.
They do, but I mean, well, part of the reason that we have a low overhead is because we fly people over for specific training programs. We don't have to pay large salaries, but they come and do it, and they do a great job without all the overhead, without all the government waste, and without the politics, I might add.
Is this legal?
We've not violated any laws according to the State Department. It is a bit of a gray area, but it is always a concern. You never know which way the winds will change, and all of a sudden.
You're not afraid of going to jail for this?
Certainly not. In 2011, I fought in the war in Libya. I was a prisoner of war for nearly 6 months in two of Libya's worst prisons. I'm not afraid of being arrested and doing time in a federal penitentiary because I'm doing the right thing and helping Christians in Iraq. I'll take that risk.
You're not alone in doing this. The Kurdish militias in Syria say more than 100 Americans are fighting there. New York Times reports pilots flew for the Allies in World War I and World War II, long before the United States officially declared war.
Right. If that's what needs to be done, that's what needs to be done.